Hello, hello. Good morning, everybody. Jesus Coffee with Pastor John. I hope you guys are doing awesome today. I am excited to see you. Hope the weekend was good. Let's get right to it. We are doing our Jesus Coffee in John chapter 5 still. This is the story where the man was healed after 38 years. And now Jesus is having a conversation with the spiritual leaders. And he's trying to teach them, explain to them who he is, who God is, what everyone's roles are. So I want to get to reading here. We're in verses 24 through 27 of John chapter 5. Just listen or get your whatever out and read. So just to recap, we just hit last time where Jesus said he gives life to who he will. And we learned that Jesus judges you. Right? Not God passed that judgment to Jesus, so Jesus is your judge, actually. That was big. So let's pick it up here in verses 24 through 27. I'm reading. Most assuredly, I say to you, he who hears my word and believes in him who sent me has everlasting life, and shall not come into judgment, but he passed from death into life. Most assuredly I say to you, the hour is coming, and now is, when the dead will hear the voice of the Son of God, and those who hear will live. For as the Father has life in himself, so he has granted the Son to have life in himself, and has given him authority to execute judgment, also because he is the Son of Man. All right. So what we're highlighting today is two choices. You either choose life or you choose death. Pretty clear, right? You would think, but not always for everybody. Sometimes people have a hard time with that. They like death. People, have you noticed horror movies are very popular? I personally don't like horror movies. I literally make it a rule to never watch horror movies because, I don't know, it gets in your head. Even from a kid, I didn't like horror movies. So, but death in general is very inviting to people, or murder, or whatever. I mean, shows like that, or plays, or whatever. So, within us, we have to choose. Let's start in the beginning here. Remember, it's life or death. He who hears my word and believes in him, that's Jesus, who sent me, has everlasting life. All right, so Jesus explained, that to the astonished religious leaders that those who heard his words would have everlasting life, and that they would have the life connected to eternity. So what's so amazing about that? What's so amazing is that he's saying to these leaders that, hey, you guys are following all your rules to make sure you're pleasing God. And, doing the right thing is good. But just to do the right thing because you're afraid you're going to get in trouble, that's bad. You should do the right thing because you love someone or appreciate something. Or kids, they should do the right thing because they love their parents and they appreciate what they do and they love the relationship they have and they want to please their parents. Love is a great motivator to do the right thing and to be living right. But the Jews at that time, they didn't flow with that. They were under fear, the law, the past, and they didn't have this full understanding of why they were doing what they were doing. Sometimes you got to ask yourself, why am I doing what I'm doing? Why am I working these bunch of jobs? Why am I locked into this certain sin or this way of life that seems destructive? Why do I keep thinking in such a negative way that's dragging me down? You have to ask yourself the why behind something sometimes. So let's continue on here. It's about that point. It says that if they hear his words, they have everlasting life. So does that mean every single person that hears the words of God has everlasting life? No, it doesn't mean that. It says many are called, but few are chosen. That means not every. You have to be actually one who choose the way. You got to choose the way, even though everyone has the same opportunity. Not everyone's going to respond the same way. All right. So Then it says, shall not come to judgment, but have passed from death to life. What I like, this is a good point here, this note makes. This is one aspect that is essential to everlasting life, to escape judgment for sin, and to pass from one position of death into the position of life. So basically, it's like changing countries. Everyone, every day, is dying. What? We're all going to die, of course, and we have an eternity, but everyone, every day is dying. Meaning that spiritually, if you don't know Christ, you're dying more every day. But if you know Christ, you have eternal life, and you're not. You're free. You're part of God's kingdom. You have a place to go. You have the answer. So being saved is awesome. But if you're not saved, you're dying every day and getting closer to a physical death and a death that leads to hell, unfortunately. But what he's saying here is that there's like changing countries. When you accept Christ, it's like changing countries. It's like changing a whole place of living and being under a whole new regime and rules and codes and everything. That means that you don't just say, Lord, forgive me of my sins, and I'm so sorry, and the next thing you know, everything's okay. It's not like that. You live a new way by new laws and under a new kingdom. All right. Okay, so it comes down to a choice. I wanted to leave a couple minutes for a quick story here to wrap this up. And Charity and I, when we were in Colorado, we one day were driving down this path, and Charity said, oh hey, look, there's a scenic route up there. We should go drive there. In Colorado, there's a lot of scenic routes. It's really pretty in Colorado. And I said, okay. Little did I know it was like a 1-lane road, but I'm gonna get up there. Okay. So picking up the pace, I get finally where we get to. You drive on the scenic road. It's just mountains on both sides, all the way up this steep road, and you're going up. And then I go along, and then one of the mountains just drop off on the road, and the road's only big enough for one car, and one of the mountains that they just drop off, right? And then I'm like, what? What is that down there? And Charity said, look how pretty that is. And I'm like scared, and I'm holding on. I got a heights thing, I'll be honest with you. After 10 or 15 feet, it gets a little nervous for me. All right, and this is like hundreds and hundreds of feet up. And then the mountain just drops off. And the next thing you know, about another 50 yards, and this is like a 1 or 2 mile road, 50 yards, the other mountain just drops off. I'm like, what? No way. I'm losing my mind. I'm breathing like this. I usually drive with one hand. I got both hands on the wheel, and I'm nervous, and I'm clenching the wheel. And then the kids are in the car, and Charity is she's looking over, and she says, oh, look how pretty, you can see how far it is. Look over there, you can see this thing. I'm like, all I see is the road. I hate this road. I hate this thing that we're doing. I'm scared I just feel like we're gonna veer off and crash to our death. This is driving me crazy. I hate it. And she's like, oh, you're missing something so beautiful, so awesome, right? And I'm like, it's not beautiful to me. All I see is a road. I can't even see anything else. I'm not turning my head. I'm focusing. My hands are on the wheel. So we finally made it across. And then we drove down. She said, oh, that was nice. I said, that was not nice. I was scared to death up there. I mean, we could have died or something. She's like, you're such a baby. You're such a wimp. I said, I know I'm a wimp, but that's true. We could have died. Long story short, we could have taken 2 paths, gone straight, or take this other road off that was a crazy road that I did not want to take, because I'm a little bit thing with driving on roads with high up in the mountains with nothing on each side or even rails, you know. And sometimes you have to make a choice, right? Which road are you gonna go? The road that's marked out for you, or the one that's hanging off when you're gonna die, right? Don't choose death, choose life. Don't choose death, choose life. Well, God bless you all. It is be super blessed, and thank you for participating in Jesus Coffee today. And I love you very much.